Here.
Here.
Here. Quorum present. Public hearing regarding the proposed fiscal year 20 budget. It's an opportunity for people to ask questions. We'll have 15 minutes, so if there are any questions, step up at the mic.
Hi, my name's Ted Schulte. I'm a taxpayer, and I'm just curious with everything that's been going on here with the new board and with the increased security and all this stuff and everything with that, and the additional lawyers being or with the lawyer having to be at the board meetings and all that. Is there going to be a line in there in the budget for all those expenses too, or? Because I haven't seen the budget, so I was just kind of curious.
Dale, you answer that?
Well, each area of the college has its own sort of unit cost budget, and so the board has a certain, cost associated with that. It's in the operating budget, and we'll monitor that during the year. We'll look at kind of the board cost during the years like we do every other unit of the college, and just starting the fiscal year now. So I think there's enough in the budget right now to cover those costs, and we'll see how it goes over the next period of time.
Okay, I've been going to board meetings and different things, and I've never seen having to have lawyers and all that so many times. And I know that has to cost quite a bit to have someone there a lot.
There have been some extra costs. I think it's not at a level now that so far that we're monitoring it though.
Okay, I know when I have to pay for a lawyer, it costs me quite a bit. So
Sure, I understand.
You too.
Yeah, appreciate the comment.
There being no more comments, we close the public hearing on the proposed fiscal year 20 budget. So I'll just declare that closed. Okay, now we'll call a new roll call for a forum for the regular meeting.
Here.
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 We'll have the Pledge of Allegiance. Need a motion to approve the fiscal year 20 budget. Need a second?
I'll second.
Motion's been made and seconded. Is there any further discussion on the fiscal year budget? Call for the vote.
Tolgetsky? Yes. Watson?
Yes.
Wertz?
Yes.
Hyen?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Hanfelder?
Yes.
McCain? Yes.
Next is the omnibus agenda. The following items will be approved in one motion unless any board member wishes to have an item pulled prior to the vote. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved to approve and seconded by Mr. Watson. All those in favor will take the roll call.
Tolgetsky?
Yes.
McCain?
Yes.
Watson?
Yes.
Wertz?
Yes.
Hyen?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Hanfelder?
Yes.
Now we have the informational items, awarded grants, and sponsored contracts.
I think those all, as they appear in your board book, I think we're down to discussion items.
Okay. Next, we have the construction project status report.
Lori Artis is going to do that one.
Good evening. The construction status report is on page 14 and 15 in the board books. Just a few updates with the walkthrough of Riverbend Arena this week. The gym floor installation is complete. We will start painting and sealing here in the next week or so. The waterproofing on the exterior has been completed. The lights and the sprinkler system are being installed as we walked through on the first floor, and they'll start framing the offices and hanging drywall here in the coming weeks up on the second floor now that we have all the ductwork and everything completed. The CDB main complex foundation improvement project is still under review with it's under design review with CDB. That is a 5-week approval process, so we're still waiting. I will just note that given that it's a CDB project, they will bid and manage that, so I'll keep the board posted on that as we go forward, but just want to make you aware of that. And then the Northeast Campus site lighting project, if you've walked around campus, you can see our dirt mounds. We've been trenching and boring. We've removed all of the other lights. We're just waiting on the new fixtures to arrive to install and put our campus back together in time for the start of fall classes. Not related to construction, but did just want to make the board aware. On Friday, August 2nd, from about 9 a.m. to 1 p.m., we're going to host a full-scale disaster exercise on campus that will involve all of our members of maintenance, our security department, the Godfrey Fire Department, Alt Memorial EMS, and the Godfrey Emergency Management. And last year, the board approved our emergency operations plan and through our consultant with Chris Sikra. So Chris is going to be here managing it. We meet monthly and do tabletop exercises, but this is going to be our first full-scale exercise. We picked that date because we have no classes in session. and it's a Friday in the summer. So we're going to test our EOP on a tornado disaster is going to be the disaster of choice. So we met today with our crews and kind of walked through expectations, and so we'll do the drill. We'll communicate everything to the community, media, and people on campus so they know what's taking place, but just wanted to make all of you aware, and then we'll, of course, debrief afterwards to see where we need to improve and what worked well. So any questions?
How long do you think that'll take?
About 2 hours for the actual drill itself, and then we've allowed enough time for us to kind of sit around the table, as I said, and debrief and talk about where we can improve. So, not that I think we'll need to, but. All right.
Thank you. College for Kids?
Kent Sheffel?
Good evening. When you were driving in this evening, you probably saw directional signs for College for Kids. The College for Kids program began a few weeks ago. We run this every summer. It's an excellent opportunity for us to get young children, young students on the campus to become familiar with Lewis and Clark and really see what's here. Yvette McLemore is here this evening. Yvette's the director of the High School Partnership Program and Community Education. She's the one who's really running the program on a day-to-day basis and has made it very successful. Yvette?
Good evening. College for Kids is an enrichment program where students can discover new talents, expand their knowledge, and enjoy hands-on learning under the guidance of experienced educators. During the summer months of June to August, the College for Kids programs offers various camps for students ages 5 to 15. The camps include cooking, creative and performing arts, fun with Legos, Taekwondo, internet safety, and this year, for the first time, we offered 2 sessions of sign language. Most of the camps meet here on campus from 9 to noon, Monday through Thursday, with the exception of the Junior Explorers Camp that took place off campus at the Lewis and Clark Historic Site. Infants and teenagers continue to enroll year-round in swimming lessons taught in the Hathaway Pool. During the summer months, the coordinator of the swim program also works with various community groups to provide swimming lessons as a summer activity for children. College for Kids classes are assessed a course fee to cover the cost of operating the program. Currently, course fees range from $44 to $129. In order to ensure the program to be profitable, a minimum enrollment number is set for each class based on the course fee. Classes that do not reach the minimum enrollment are canceled, and we can happily say that this summer we offer 13 classes and we're halfway through, and we've only had to cancel 1 class. Since 1989, the College for Kids program continues to be a valuable community service for parents, grandparents, and students. At the end of each weekly summer camp, we receive many positive comments and appreciation for the program. With this being my second year coordinating camp offerings in the College for Kids program, it is very exciting to see the many camp goers returning for another summer of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Good job. Fall Faculty in-service week.
Dr. Linda Chapman?
Good evening. I think that I mentioned at the last board meeting that there are 2 weeks that are faculty development or professional development weeks. One of those is in August, and that's what I had in your board books tonight, is the draft. I'm going to say draft because it keeps on changing until the day we start the week. What we do is we'll have all of the faculty back on campus, and so the institutional committees will have a chance to meet for the first time. There are professional development activities that are credit courses, non-credit courses, discussion groups, and those are spread throughout the week. And probably the intellectual experience of the week is Tuesday morning. I was going to tease and say not when Dale speaks, but after that, we have a speaker who's coming from Rice University this year who talks about learning and the brain. And so that will lead to a discussion about the book that he wrote on the next morning. And know, the faculty will bring those discussions into their meetings. So it's a very busy week for faculty and staff. Adjunct faculty are welcome to attend all of the professional development opportunities as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Yeah, so Dr. Jill Lane, I think, is going to introduce our special honoree.
Good evening, everyone. It's my pleasure to announce to you that this year one of our own faculty, Dr. Melissa Batchelor, was named the 2019-2020 Illinois Gateway to Opportunity Faculty Fellow. So what that means is that the Illinois Board of Higher Education and the Illinois Community College Board selected a very few leaders in early childhood education from around the state, from public and private colleges and universities. And they approached Dr. Batchelor and asked her to apply for this opportunity. That's how well known she is in the state in terms of being a leader in this field. The field in Illinois is leaning toward a competency-based program in early childhood. It helps get these people to work faster, and there's a need out there. And Melissa is so on the cutting edge of this that I think it was last summer she took 15 or 18 credit hours herself in competency-based education to figure out how it worked so that she could teach our students. She's a gem to this college. She works so hard and is really a leader in the state. And so I want to introduce Dr. Melissa Batchelor to you to tell you a little bit more about the program. Thank you.
So thanks for the recognition. I myself graduated from my child development program, so that also gives me some ownership, and I also have a second degree from Lewis and Clark. So I really feel at home, and that really gives me some investment in my program. So I really try to keep ahead of what's going on, and I often joke that when my predecessor left, I thought I would have a little bit of time to, feel out this program, and so I feel like the program is continuing to change, and so I try to keep up to date on that. I like to also be very engaged with statewide opportunities as they present themselves, so I often joke that we're Southern Illinois, so anything really from Bloomington down. Chicago is often represented, but Southern Illinois is often not represented in these state organizations, so I've been really working hard to make sure that not just Lewis and Clark, but that Southern Illinois is represented. It also helps me that I have great institutional support. Dr. Linda and Dr. Jill Lane have been very supportive when I've talked to them about, hey, can we think about competency-based education, and how can I implement this in my program, and how can I get students through faster because the workforce is in such a need, or adding credentials and trying to figure out various pathways for students who come in and they need a class because their employer says, if you do this, we can employ you. That just happened today, so thanks, Tim Bell, for enrolling that student very quickly. But additionally, what can I do to help them gain workforce credentials, but also how can I help them move forward if they decide, you know what, I can do this, I do want to pursue a bachelor's degree. So I've tried to create some very unique pathways for them, and so that is also helpful. I also have to say thanks to my husband because no does not seem to be in my vocabulary, and so he's very supportive in that sense. So I just want to say thanks. I hope that I continue to represent Lewis and Clark and Southern Illinois the best that I can. So thanks.
Thank you. Move on to action items. A, approval of grant or sponsored contract opportunities.
This is one of the board policy changes that we now have placed in the board packet, and so it's there for the board's review, and we need a motion and action on this.
I have a motion to approve.
Motion.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the grant or sponsored contract opportunities. Any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Tolgetsky,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
McCain,
Yes.
Hyen,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Motion passed. Item B, ICCB Recognition.
Kent, explain recognition.
Recognition is the term that the Illinois Community College Board uses basically as accreditation. They don't use the term accreditation, but they use the term recognition, but it really has the same meaning. So when we're seeking ICCB recognition, what we're really seeking is ICCB's approval to continue offering courses, to continue operating, to be able to continue to receive ICCB funding. Without that recognition status, those things don't happen. In the coming weeks, we'll be submitting our recognition report later on this summer, early fall. Before we submit that, we have to submit a letter to ICCB saying that we want our recognition status continued. So what this action item is asking for is the authority for President Chapman to send that letter in when the time comes that says we would like for recognition status to be continued for Lewis and Clark.
Motion to approve that.
So move.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve. Are there any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Tolgetsky,
Yes.
McCain,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Hyen,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
Yes.
Watson.
Yes.
Motion passed. Item C, St. Louis Regional Airport Lease Agreement.
Lori?
Good evening again. So since 1998, we have had a lease with the St. Louis Airport Authority that allows us to operate our facility there on their grounds. And as most of you know, if you've been through the building, that's the headquarters for our corporate training program. It's also the headquarters for our truck driver training program as well. So we are looking at a 4-year extension to that lease. The monthly rent that we would pay is outlined as $599.04. Are there any questions? Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about this program. It says 136 graduates since its inception. How many did we have like last year? What's the trend been?
I'll let Dean Suserwinski talk
Okay.
about truck driver training.
And who are our competitors in this area?
The competitors are for-profit truck driving training where their pass rates are about 30 to 40%. Ours are 100%. So we have not had one completer that has not passed and gotten their CDL. It started with a grant funding it, so we were able to buy the truck and the trailer. We had wonderful donations as well. And so as far as the trend is increasing. So our enrollment started with 5 students because we had one instructor and that's all we could take on at a time. And our classes are full. They're continuing to full, and it's WIOA eligible as well. So
That's good to hear. That's what I expected you to say. How does the cost compare to the private groups that are competing with you?
well, I think we're a bit cheaper than the for-profit, and they get anywhere from 500 to 800 miles during the time that they're driving, so they get a lot more experience. The students pay a fee that covers the cost of the fuel, that covers the cost of most of the program, so it works out pretty well for us and for them. And it's financial aid eligible over the 16 weeks. So we made it in 2 different ways, 8 weeks and 16 weeks, and if students need financial aid, they're able to get financial aid for it.
Did you say how many were in it right now, or just ballpark? I don't have.
Yeah, we can handle. So we have 2 instructors, and we can have up to 10 students at a time. And so the 8 weeks. So you kind of mix and match 16 weeks and 8 weeks. to keep about 10 students at a time every semester, and it's fall, spring, summer.
Where do you get most of your candidates? Do they just contact you off the street, or do you recruit somehow?
A lot of them are WIOA, and then so people who have been displaced. We have a lot of people coming from the steel mills and things like that are veterans that are coming back, and also the truck driving companies themselves. If we let everyone come and be represented, they wouldn't have time to teach. They are knocking on the door. Every student has 3 or 4 offers for jobs before they graduate. I mean, the need is tremendous.
Those jobs are well-paying jobs now.
Yeah, well-paying jobs. Right. And yeah, I mean, the only thing that's holding us back is numbers. If we could buy another truck, we could hire another faculty member, and we could take on another 5-10 students, but it's a matter of numbers and safety.
I'm interested in this because a good friend of mine owns a trucking company, and they just have a terrible time finding workers all the time.
Yep.
So that, and with the daycare too. I'm the treasurer at my church daycare, and we just have a terrible time finding trained workers, and they get to a point where they don't have enough training, and they don't make the time commitment and so forth.
Right.
So I like these programs.
It's,
I think these are just really important.
Yeah,
programs.
it's a fantastic thing. It's just it's expensive to get another truck to do more, but we're looking for grant opportunities all the time so we can expand.
That facility out there, by the way, at the airport is ideal for the rodeo course. So it's flat, and they took the sleeper out of the main truck, and basically 4 or 5 students can be in the truck with the driver and sort of rotate and get the experience.
Yeah, it's a great system.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
There was a kit that we ordered, a special unit, like you were saying, took all the bunks out, put seats back there. So you got a mobile classroom, basically, what you're doing. So you got 1 instructor teaching 4 students, 1 driving, 3 watching. And I've been out there, been to that thing, and usually the 7th week, there's people out there with applications hand them to these people wanting a job. Yeah. Mainly St. Louis freight haulers. And the equipment that we have, and I've seen the for hire schools equipment, ours is a lot better quality equipment. The ones that they're running are pretty wore out trucks that are just shouldn't be even probably on the road. But that's.
We didn't mention the simulator, but we also have a very impressive simulator that teaches them all the basics of shifting gears and braking and things like that.
So there's a need for another truck to be donated?
So you want to donate a truck, I donate a trailer.
Well, it wouldn't be me personally, but I may know someone who might.
Motion
So moved.
second.
Second.
Any further discussion? Vote.
Tulgetsky,
Yes.
McCain,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Hyan,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
Yes.
Watson.
Yes. D, Nickel Plate Station Building Ground Lease.
So since we have been owners of the N.O. Nelson campus, I believe that was since 1999 we took ownership, there resides on our campus a historic train depot station. We have been working with historic agencies in that area for many years trying to find a way to restore this building. This year, the city of Edwardsville, under the leadership of S.J. Morrison, their alderman who's here with us tonight, they have offered, they have taken ownership of it and have pledged $100,000 already to it, committed it in this year's fiscal budget, and they would like to see this long-term lease and to move it on our campus. Right now, it's on the northwest corner because it's not so nice looking and it's where it needs to be. But we'd like to see, if that's going to reside on our campus, of course, a full restoration of it. So in order for them, they're estimating about a $300,000 project to fully restore it. So they'd like to start soliciting private donations. But before they do that, they'd like a commitment from us that we'll lease this piece of land to them on our campus and move it to the southwest corner.
We have a guest.
If there's any questions, I'm sure.
Thanks, Lori. Good evening. As she mentioned, I'm S.J. Morrison. I'm on the Edwardsville City Council. This is a wonderful little train station. It was built in 1883. It was moved off of its original location in around 1989 and has sat on blocks just waiting for its train to come in, so to speak. At the City of Edwardsville, we have invested in our historic structures as you have here at Lewis and Clark. What we would like to do is a full restoration of the facility inside and out, including adding an ADA accessible restroom. We want this to be not just a place where people can come and learn about the history of railroading and the history of the community, but also a visitor center. We want it to be a place where visitors and residents come to see what's going on in our community. And it's in a great location right there on Buchanan Street at the southwest corner of the N.O. Nelson campus, but it's also right on the bike trail, which of course was the former nickel plate railroad line. And so it's a perfect location for folks coming off the bike trail, cyclists, walkers, joggers, etc., to come in and get information, whether it's brochures or just other historical information about the community and about the center. So really appreciate your consideration, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
So is the lease for the ground then? And then who owns the building?
The city would retain ownership of the building.
They own it now?
Yes.
Oh,
And
Okay.
they stand for the liability issues.
yeah, I didn't realize they own it now.
Yep.
They already own it. Will people still be allowed to get their senior picture taken there?
Sure.
I don't know if you realize that, but it's a lot of kids have their senior picture taken.
Our
standing
family
by
had
them.
their family photos taken there, actually. Yeah, I think it's going to compete with the Wildey Theater for the most photographed building in Edwardsville when it's done. Yeah. So, thank you.
Motion to approve. Mr.
Second.
Watson made the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second. I'll second the motion.
Chuck seconds. Motion's been made and seconded to approve the lease of the nickel plate station building. Okay, call for the vote.
Tolgetsky,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
Yes.
McCain,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Hyen,
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Item E, Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs lease agreement, Macoupin County.
Yes, Mr. Chairman. So these next two items, one is Macoupin County, one is Edwardsville. And the board approved leases before for a 1 year period for $3,000 for that 1 year, each of those locations. And the Veterans Affairs in Illinois are under the CMS, the Central Management Services Agency. They won't let them do a 1 year lease. They want a minimum 3 year lease. So the request here is to extend the lease for 2 more years in each case, $3,000 a year for the rental of the facilities for the veterans.
Do you want to vote on E and F together?
I just wanted to explain them both. We can take two different motions.
Two different motions, okay. Is there a motion to approve the Macoupin County lease?
So move.
Second.
Motion been made and seconded. Any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Tolgetsky,
Yes.
McCain,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Hyen,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
Yes.
Watson.
Yes. Item F, Illinois Department of Veterans Affairs lease agreement, N.O. Nelson.
Just take a motion. And it's the same explanation that would be a 3 year lease, not a 1 year lease.
Okay. Motion to approve this.
Motion.
Second. Got a motion made and seconded. Any further discussion? Call for the vote.
Tolgetsky,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
McCain,
Yes.
Hyen,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Hanfelder,
Yes.
Watson.
Yes. Item G, State of Illinois Capital Development Board, capital renewal deferred maintenance, Haskell Hall fan coil unit replacement.
I think Lori's got this one.
I believe I have it in front of me. We were offered an opportunity to receive $150,000 in funds through Capital Development Board for emergency repairs, and And I say that because it takes so long to get these projects approved. But it would allow us to replace a lot of our HVAC, our individual fan coil units in Haskell Hall, which are outdated. It would require a match by the college for $50,000, and we would propose using PHS funds in order to match that.
Those are existing funds.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Motion to approve?
So moved.
Okay, Dwight made the motion. Is there a second? Mr. Watson, second. There's been a motion made and second. Any further discussion? If not, I call for the vote.
Tolgetsky,
Yes.
Wertz,
Yes.
Watson,
Yes.
McCain,
Yes.
Hyan,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Hanfelder.
Yes.
That concludes the business of the board this evening. It's now time for public comment. You have 3 minutes. Anyone wish to make a public comment?
Good evening. My name is Frank Bemis. I'm a resident of Godfrey and have been a practicing chiropractor in the Alton-Godfrey area for more than 50 years. I've always been a supporter of Lewis and Clark Community College. I'm here tonight to ask the board to be more respectful and trusting of the highly professional administrative staff and faculty at this great college. Last year, Alan Lash asked me to join his effort to promote the college to individuals throughout the college's district, particularly in its rural areas. One of the key points we made is to make that nearly 20% of the college's budget comes from grants and contracts. That doesn't happen if a college doesn't have a highly skilled, dedicated staff and faculty. Bringing in dollars resonates well with taxpayers because it keeps tuitions affordable. Taxpayers also appreciate hearing that some of the grants and contracts are from public agencies, which means that their tax dollars are being spent in their community and benefiting their families. In an effort to educate the public on this and many other impactful programs of the college, a committee of professionals, both working and retired, is forming. It is called Citizens Interested in Lewis and Clark. A secondary purpose is to provide professional mentorship to students. With an operating budget of more than $36 million and the financial impact that has on the college district, I have come to believe that informing the taxpayers and their families of the remarkable influence that Lewis and Clark has on each and every one of us is of vital importance. This influence is felt directly through the educational process and indirectly through the many avenues of job skills, education, and placement, cultural enlightenment, and the wonderful physical facilities that citizens have come to expect throughout the district, many of which are supported in part through grants, contracts, and private donations. Lewis and Clark Community College did not rise like a phoenix out of the shuttered grounds of a private college for women. It was built slowly, thoughtfully, and strategically through vision, hard work, and relationship building over these last 50 years, 30 of which has been under the capable leadership of the current administration. It has been rather easy for many of us to simply reference Lewis and Clark as one of the best kept secrets in our region. It seems to me that it is now time to let the public know on a much more detailed level what Lewis and Clark has to offer and what it stands for. Micromanaging the institution is not what Lewis and Clark stands for, which is empowering people. My hope is that citizens interested in Lewis and Clark will be a mechanism to inform the public of the magnitude and the scope of the wonderful influence of Lewis and Clark and the threats that the institution faces today. Once again, don't destroy the creativity and entrepreneurial spirit of this wonderful institution. Thank you.
Any further comments? If not, we stand adjourned. Thank you for coming.